Hey guys, how you going? Welcome back to another video. I haven't done a video on this one for a while. We're going to probably split the video up in a second. We're going to stop the video in a minute because I want to talk about TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome. Yep, TDS. Now, where does TDS come from? It comes from another three-letter fucking, what's that word? I can't remember what that word's called, but it comes from another three-letter word place. It's called CNN. And where else does Trump Derangement Syndrome come from? It also comes from the New York Times. Where else does Trump Derangement Syndrome come from? MSNBC. It also comes from ABC. Alright, American Broadcasting Company. Alright, you see, I watched a lot of Donald Trump last year. A lot of Donald Trump. And I'm not shitting you. I watched shitloads. I've read 2 of his books. I'm about to start another one. When COVID started, the first book I picked up was Trump, Art of the Deal. Now, I picked up Trump, Art of the Deal because, one, I wanted to understand the man behind what everyone else was saying. Now, I used to not like Donald Trump as a person, alright? I didn't like him at all. I didn't understand how he could be the way he is. And now I understand why he's the way he is. You know, and I can see why I can see why people have TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome. But it's silly because at the end of the day, the bloke has done everything that he said that he would do. And a little bit more. You see, people don't, especially Australians don't understand this, right? They kind of tend to forget how the system works, right? We are allies with the Americans, right? And vice versa, right? So if we go to war, we've got to go to war together, right? That's how it works. That's part of the dealio, right? So if America wants to go to war in Afghanistan, we got to go and send troops over there, which are our young men and women, right? I've got friends in the armed forces, and they, you know, that was their decision to be an army officer or a soldier. That's their decision, right? That's up to them, all right? And I'm proud of them that they want to serve their country, all right? But you can serve your country without having to go to a pointless war, okay? So what people don't understand is, because they've got their Trump Derangement Syndrome on, is that this bloke is pulling troops out of places. He's pulling, you don't know about this shit because the mainstream media like CNN and MSNBC and all them other fucking junkies, they don't want to tell you about it. What they want to tell you about is how they took a word or a phrase that Trump said and twisted it. Now, that's not very fair for the bloke, alright? At the end of the day, he's the President of the United States of America, right? Just so be it. Whether or not he is after the 20th on Inauguration Day, whatever. I don't know all those conspiracies. I'm not 100% sure on where I stand with what's going on at the moment. But what I do know is that people, you can hate him for being you can not like him for the person that he is, okay? You can like him because of you can not like him based on his personality. That's fair, right? That's a fair assessment, all right? A fair assessment. He's got a pretty outlandish personality, all right? He's very bullish. He's very straight down the line, and that's why a lot of people don't like him. Is because they don't like him because he's straight up and tells them how it is, right? The thing is, people got to also remember that Trump's not a career politician, right? He was asked in the 80s if he'd become president, and he said it on Oprah. He said, if it got bad enough, I would probably do it, because no one else could, all right? That's legit. You can go find the episode of Oprah. He said it. So you've got places, you've got movie corporations and streaming services and stuff like that who are going to try and remove Trump from cameos in movies like Home Alone 2, Home Alone 2, which is, filmed, or based within the Plaza Hotel, which from memory, I think Trump owned. Okay, so and I'm pretty sure that's how he got the cameo, because he owned the building, all right, because he wanted to buy it. He said that it was a beautiful building, and if he wanted to own it, so he bought it. There's a great documentary on Netflix, all right? So you can not like the bloke based on his personality because it probably clashes with yours. That's fair assessment. But as a businessman and a politician, right, he is outstanding, okay? And as a politician, well, he's incredible, because he's done everything that he said that he was going to do. He said that I was reading his book the other day, right? Think Big and Kick Ass, right? I was reading that book. I'm dead set. I was reading that book. I finished it, right? And in that book, in about chapter 3, I'm pretty sure, or it could be chapter 7. I have 7 in my brain for some reason. But anyway, in one of the chapters, he talks about peace in the Middle East. Now, this book was written in 07, published in 07, right? So, well, that's what, 9 years before he became president, right? 9 years before he became president. Now, let's put that in perspective. That's 9 years. 9 years in the past, right? Well, not now. It's over. It's what is it? 2021, and that was set in 07. So, is that like 15 years or something? I don't know. I'm not very good at math. Anyway, 9 years into the past, before he became president, okay, he said that there would be no one else that could create the Middle East peace. He said there wouldn't be anyone good enough to do a deal where that would resolve that problem. Right? Now, he did it in 2019. 2020. He did it last year. He made 5 peace deals. He went to people forget that he went to North Korea, and everybody said, "Oh no, him and Kim are going to fight, and him and Kim are going to cause World War III, and we're going to have to invade North Korea, and North Korea are going to just decimate the world." He went. This is what CNN and MSNBC and those fucking Chris Cuomo and all those junkies that are peddling this shit, they all said that. They all said that this was going to end bad, and that when he went to North Korea, it was going to end bad. He went there and made a friendship. He went there and made a deal. He did what he does best. He makes deals. He's the guru of deal making. Like, why wouldn't you want him as a president? If he's very good at making deals that are going to benefit your country, why wouldn't you want him to make the deals? I wish we had a prime minister as ballsy as this bloke, because at the end of the day, he put the benefit back into the American people. All right, we're going to pause the video here, and I'm going to do a screen recording of the press release for the accomplishments. But I'm going to go get some lunch first. All right, so I'll be back. Give me a minute, and we'll be back. Hey guys, welcome back to the video. We just had that little bit of we're back, so we had a bit of a break. So obviously you're watching, and you've seen me go off and get some lunch, and now I'm back. What we were talking about is Trump derangement syndrome, and what people don't actually see because of CNN and the left-wing media that have been bought and paid for, into the left by wanting to sell their narrative. Okay, so current narrative is Trump is bad, Orange Man bad, all that sort of bullshit. I have people always disagree with me about Trump and what he's accomplished. Like I said, you cannot like him based on his personality, that's fine. But to baselessly claim that he hasn't been a good president and then not back it up without having the evidence to prove that just makes you look like an idiot. So we're going to go through going to go through the Trump administration accomplishments as of January 2021. As you can see here on the screen, before the China virus invaded the shores of America, they built the world's most prosperous economy. Now, people don't believe this because what happens is none of this stuff is actually spoken of in the mainstream media, which is owned by the left, all right? You know, which is basically manipulated by the left, all right? Now, this is the same tactics that Goebbels used in 1938 with the Nazi Party and their regime of taking ownership of the media and then having the media tell whatever narrative Goebbels and the Nazi Party came up with to convince the German people that what they were doing was for the greater good, okay? It's basically the same tactic, all right? It's no different. It's just a different result, okay? And this time they're not killing people. They're just silencing people who want to tell the truth. America gained 7 million new jobs, more than 3 times the government experts' projections under the Trump administration. Okay, so in 4 years, America gained 7 million new jobs, which is more than 3 times the government's experts' projections. Middle-class family income increased nearly $6,000, more than 5 times the gains of the entire previous administration. And we know who the last administration was. That was the Obama administration. And wasn't he for the middle class? And wasn't he for the blacks of America? Wasn't he for all those people? The unemployment rate reached 3.5%, the lowest in half a century. Now, that's pretty crazy considering America has 330 million people as its population. Okay? Achieved 40 months in a row with more job openings than job hirings. More Americans reported being employed than ever before. Nearly 160 million. That's pretty crazy, okay? Jobless claims hit a nearly 50-year low. The number of people claiming unemployment insurance as a share of the population hit its lowest record. Incomes rose in every single metro area in the United States for the first time in 3 decades, which is 30 years, by the way. 30 years. And if you go back 30 years, you'll see that Trump actually talks about how America isn't the greatest at the moment, and if he were to run for president, that he would fix it. Delivered a future of great promise and opportunity for citizens of all backgrounds. Unemployment rates for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, Native Americans, veterans, individuals with disabilities, and with those without a high school diploma all reached record lows. Now, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the left said that he's a racist and a xenophobe, you know, and that he didn't like, and he's a white supremacist at the moment. He's being labelled as a white supremacist by AOC. What a fucking moron she is. Unemployment for women hit its lowest rate in nearly 70 years. Wow, this is a guy that was apparently sexist and has no respect for women. That's interesting. Lifted nearly 7 million people off food stamps. 7 million. That means there's not people relying on food stamps. Wow. Wow, which increases the economic growth because these people are actually paying for food at full cost. That's unbelievable. Poverty rates for African Americans and Hispanic Americans reach record lows. This is the president, remember. He's fully against that shit. He's racist, remember. That's a sarcasm, by the way, people. Income equality fell for 2 straight years by the largest amount over a decade. Income equality, okay? Inequality, all right? That means that it was fair, okay? Income became equal, okay? Inequality fell, okay? The bottom 50% of American households saw a 40% increase in net worth. Isn't that insane? Wages rose fastest for low-income and blue-collar workers, a 14% pay increase. That is crazy. African American home ownership increased from 41.7% to 46.4%. That's a big increase. That's huge. Brought jobs, factories and industries back to the USA. Now, how did he do that? Oh, that's right. By being a xenophobe and telling China that he didn't want none of their business anymore and put tariffs on them. Created more than 1.2 million manufacturing and construction jobs by, I don't know, bringing them home to America, to where you guys live, if you're in America watching this. All right? That's pretty crazy, considering that I'm pretty sure Obama said you will never bring back those jobs. And I'm pretty sure there's a video on YouTube, you can find that, of Obama telling the president, Trump, that would never happen. But put in place to bring back supply chains from overseas. Small business optimism broke a 35-year-old record in 2018. Stock market numbers and record 401ks. The Dow closed above 20,000 for the first time in and topped 30,000 in 2020. Isn't that insane? The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ have repeatedly notched record highs, even after coronavirus was such a huge thing. I mean, it's still pretty big, but by the mainstream media, it still went up. It still went great. Rebuilding and investing in rural America. I didn't say that properly. Sign an executive order on modernising the regulatory framework for agriculture biotechnology products, which is bringing innovative new technologies to market in American farming and agriculture. That's got to be good. That's got to be good, surely. Strengthened America's rural economy by investing over $1.3 billion through Agriculture Department's Reconnect program, through the Agriculture Department's Reconnect program to bring high-speed broadband infrastructure to rural America. That's got to be good too. I mean, you know, those rural Americans have got to be able to send off their invoices and stuff and get paid, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Achieved a record-setting economic comeback by rejecting blanket lockdowns. That's what I was talking about before. What are you doing, pal?
Is it lunch, Daddy?
Not yet. During an October 2020 Gallup survey found 56% of Americans said they were better off during the pandemic than 4 years prior.
When our lunch will be ready.
In a minute, buddy. During the third quarter of the 2020, the economy grew at a rate of 33.1%. The most rapid GDP growth ever recorded. Oh, but he's a bad president. Wow, he's terrible. Since coronavirus lockdowns ended, the economy has added back over 12 million jobs, more than half the jobs lost, which is positive. Jobs have been recovered 23 times faster than the previous administration's recovery. Now, I just want to hold and pause here for a second because Mr. Joe Biden and fucking Kamala Harris want to actually go into a nationwide lockdown. Did you know that? They want to go into a nationwide lockdown, which will affect that 12 million jobs. Unemployment fell to 6.7% in December from a pandemic peak of 14.7% in April, beating expectations of well over 10% of unemployment through the end of 2020. Under the previous administration, it took 49 months for unemployment rate to fall from 10% to 7% compared to just 3 months for Trump administration. I wonder. I don't know, because he actually gives a shit. Since April, the Hispanic unemployment rate has fallen by 9.6%, Asian American 8.6%, and Black American by 6.8%. But I guess he's racist, right? And he doesn't care about their employment opportunities and helping them get into the workforce because, you know, he's racist, according to Chris Cuomo and the CNN clowns. 80% of small businesses are now open, up from just 53% in April. That's pretty big. Small business confidence hit a new high. Home builder confidence reached an all-time high, and home sales hit their highest reading since December. Manufacturing optimism nearly doubled. Household net worth rose 7.4 trillion to 112 trillion. Wow, it went from 7.4 trillion in quarter 2 to 112 trillion. Home prices hit an all-time high record. The United States rejected crippling lockdowns that crushed the economy and inflicted countless public health harms. Instead, safely reopened its economy. Business confidence is higher in America than in any other G7 or European Union country. Stabilized America's financial markets with the establishment of a number of Treasury Department supported facilities at the Federal Reserve. He did that like way back in April last year. Tax relief for the middle class. Here we go. Passed $3.2 trillion in historic tax relief and reformed the tax code. Signed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, the largest tax reform package in history. But this guy doesn't know what he's doing or care. And he's racist, apparently. More than 6 million American workers received wage increases, bonuses, and increased benefits thanks to tax cuts. Isn't that cool? That probably helped with the household percentages going up. A typical family of 4 earning $75,000 received an income tax cut of more than $2,000, slashing their tax bill in half. Wow. So before Trump, these people, by what I'm reading there, were paying like $4,000 in taxes. A family of 4 that were earning around $75,000, if that makes sense. Doubled the standard deduction, making the first $24,000 earned by a married couple completely tax-free. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. That's not bad. You know, you can earn up to $24,000 before you get taxed. That's, you know, and $24,000 isn't bad. I mean, it's okay for low. Doubled the child tax credit. Virtually eliminated the unfair estate tax or death tax. Yeah, that's crazy. The death tax. You got to pay tax when you die. We all do, okay? We all do. Get the business tax, not in America. Cut the business tax from 35%, the highest in the developed world, to all the way down to 21%. That's crazy. Small businesses can now deduct 20% of their business income. Businesses can now deduct 100% of the cost of their capital investment in the year the investment is made. That's pretty cool. I might want to move to America. Not anymore. Biden's in charge, apparently. Since the passage of tax cuts, passage. I don't know. That's passage. I'm going to say passage. You wouldn't say passage. Of tax cuts, the share of total wealth held by the bottom half of households has increased, while the share held by the top has decreased. That makes it fair, right? Isn't that what everyone's after? Fair. And that's not creating socialism either. Wow. Over 400 companies have announced bonuses, wage increases, new hires, or new investment in the United States. That's pretty good for the local economy. Over 1.5 trillion was I can't say that word. Into the United States from overseas. I'm guessing that you got back money. They got back money, like China. Lower investment costs and higher capital returns led to faster growth. So that's just some of the stuff that he's done. I mean, there's lots and lots here, like mass deregulation. You know, he done a heap of that shit. But, you know, Americans now have more money in their pockets, which is obvious because we just went through all that. Fair trade. He wanted to make sure more money was being made by Americans than being spent by Americans, which is fair. Historic support for American farmers. Well, we went through that at the top. Suspended $817 million in trade preferences for Thailand under the Generalised GSP program due to its failure to adequately provide reasonable market access. See? There you go. You guys can see all this. You can just go to the Trump administration accomplishments at whitehouse.gov. You know, I'll put the link in the comments section there, and you guys can go and have a bit of a read. But you can see there's pages and pages of absolute amazing things that this guy's done. And yet you've got CNN and you've got ABC. You know, this is the thing. He said that he would do this. He said that he would bring back America. He would make it great again. And all the left are like MAGA heads suck. And you see, they're quite easily able to come and criticise people who believe in what Trump wants and wants to do, and then he does it. You know, so there's heaps of stuff here. Like, I can keep going all day, but I won't, because that'll probably just bore you. Replenish the depleted stockpiles, created the largest, most advanced and most innovative testing systems in the world. This is for coronavirus, by the way. You know, the #1 testers in the world at one stage, I'm pretty sure. Promoted research and innovative healthcare to ensure American patients have access to the best treatment in the world, and yet patients are being told to stay home. Federal judiciary, he remade that, achieving a secure border. Now, this is the one people don't understand, right? You see, the reason why he wants a safer border is he needs to eliminate child trafficking, sex trafficking, and drug trafficking, right? And he also needs to eliminate illegal immigration, meaning when someone moves to another country illegally, right, means they're not on the books. So it means that those guys can earn an income and not pay taxes because they're not a registered person of that country. They're not a registered citizen. So that person gets away with earning $600 a week, while someone who is employed and is a citizen doesn't get away with making $600 a week in their hand. They have to pay taxes because that's their income tax. They have to pay their share to be there. Okay, so people who don't understand why the wall is there, okay, it's not only to stop illegal immigrants coming to America, it also puts less strain on the workforce and people being employed illegally, okay, and earning money illegally, okay, under the rules and regulations of earning an income, all right. So it also creates safety measures for the people that are on the border, like the border police, okay. The safer it is, the easier it is to do their job, okay. It's not rocket science. What I don't understand is people get all up and down. He's a xenophobe. He's a racist, and he's trying to stop people from crossing the border. No, he wants people to cross the border, but he wants them to cross properly. He wants them to cross legally. Okay, they would need to have documentation to say who they are, where they're going, and what they want to do. Okay. Like, you can't come to Australia without a visa. You need some sort of visa to get into Australia. Okay, whether it's a working visa, a holiday visa, you need to get some sort of documentation to say why you were here. And if you're not here doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing and you're caught doing something else, we kick you out. Okay, it's the same process. It's just that you don't cross a border to get here. You fly in by plane or come in by boat. All right, so 85% reduction in refugee resettlement. It's pretty cool. Protected American workers and taxpayers. Look, we're going to stop here. I'm going to let you guys go. What a great video for all you Trump derangement syndrome carriers. Maybe you'll wake up and realise that the guy is actually just wanting to make the place better. He wants to make the world better. He's not just talking about, you know, fixing this stuff. You know, for years he's talked about America and it's not being as good as it can be, or not as great as it can be. And as you can see, over the last 4 years, the guy's achieved a lot. You know, everything that he said he was going to do, he did, and more. So I can't wait. For the 20th and to see how the world unfolds. All right, peace out. Have fun. That's the video. Enjoy.